Hello Rail Explorers and welcome to the latest BLS vlog. This is where the BLS team is going to be exploring abandoned railways. Join Samuel Beamon and Jordan Deveson for the ups, the downs, and whatever this is. So join us for the latest adventure. Hello fellow simmers, it's Samuel Beamon of BLS here, and today we're going to be doing something a little bit different to our usual BLS vlogs. Our last BLS vlog was on the Great Central Railway for their steam gala, so it was a proper operational railway. Well, today we're going to be looking at remains of an old railway line. Well, hopefully find some, because I've never been this way before. I'm literally going on new ground. It's in my town of Haverhill. I'm going to be investigating some of the Stour Valley Railway, and basically we're going to be heading northeast instead of south to find and have a look and see if there is any remains left in the northeast side of the railway line. So this is facing southeast, the track alignment, and we're going to be heading northeast, which is over here. And as you can see, we've got a tree line there, and that is basically the track alignment. I have been in those trees, and there is no remains as far as I can see. There is absolutely nothing in there. All there is dirt and muck, so it's not worth going in and taking a look, as I've been pretty much all in there and there is no remains left. And as you can see, if we look in here, you can sort of see traces of where the railway line used to be. You can see that sort of long line of dirt there, which is obviously where the single track was. And again, just about to see the embankment there, and then sort of where the track was, you can vaguely see it, like where that litter is, and it went all the way sort of through here. So we're going to continue walking. But yeah, there is nothing left in there, no remains left, just dirt and sort of traces of where the line was. Okay, so now we're going to be crossing over the alignment, this thing here, with this new path that's been made. As you can see through there, the alignment stops and a new garden's been constructed, and a house. It's all open through there, and then it's well and truly overgrown. But you can see sort of vaguely the embankment heading down to where the track bed was. So looking into the sort of the new garden of where, yeah, it's all sort of been flattened, all the track alignment and stuff, I've come across like two pairs of fencing here. So we've got just like a normal wooden fencing, and then we've got sort of a wire fencing here. Now, whether one of those pairs of fencing are original railway fencing, I do not know, but to be honest, judging by the wood, it looks a little bit too new for original fencing. But yeah, just worth pointing out. Okay, so a little bit further down the alignment, we can see we've come across this gate here. This is believed to be the remains of a foot crossing gate. It has been proved in the Haverhill History Community Memories group on Facebook that this was originally a footpath just before a river bridge stream, just literally beside it. And you can see on this diagram here where the footpath would have went, and unfortunately a lot of it has disappeared due to landslide over the past 55 years, but some of it can still be seen and walked along. And yeah, It's a very interesting sight, and it's great to see this old historical artefact still here today. If we look over the other side where the foot crossing would have been, we can actually see where it was. Look, we can see here that this is the original gate structure here. And on these little bolts here would have been a sign saying "Do not trespass on the railway" or something along those lines. And we can see how the ground level just raises up like that slightly. Obviously the garden fence there is in the way, but that up there on that embankment would have been the track alignment. I am 100% certain that this used to be an old railway foot crossing. Isn't that amazing? It's fantastic that the foundations is still here. There's also various old bits of fencing that's still dotted about along this footpath that would have led up to the railway crossing. Okay, so now we've looked at the foundations of the foot crossing, I'm going to do a little challenge. So my challenge is to climb over this green fence, get down into the stream and get a closer look at the bridge over the stream. So yeah, let's have a go. Oh, I better put some appropriate shoes on as well. And so, I've put my wellies on, about to conquer the stream. Oh, I'm getting too old for this. Oh, there's some more bits down here. Looks like there's some more remains of that foot crossing. Oh my god, I'm going to get so muffled. Oh wow, yes. I can see the bridge. So we've got to get down into the water now. Yeah. Definitely a good thing that I put my wellies on. That's for sure. Into the water I go. Gently does it. Okay. We can see here by this bit of post here looks like concrete. My guess is it's probably the same sort of concrete post that we saw on the other side of the foot crossing where the gate was attached to, and it looks like that is the other piece from the other side. Hey, I'm in the stream. Here we are. This is why you wear wellies, folks. Waterproof. Okay, folks. So this is the length you go to looking at these old items. So we can see here that this is an old river stream bridge. So as we can see, I'm now literally standing in water just to have a look at this. And we can see that it is pretty worn out. The whole structure of it is falling apart. We can see bricks and bits and pieces falling out of their sockets. This is due to wear and tear. I would imagine that this bridge is incredibly old. It was probably built pre the railway, probably built when the railway was built, which could have been in the early 1900s. So this is old. Before I climb back up, I'm just going to admire the remains of the foot crossing over this side, and we can see the concrete post laying down there, just like the other side, but obviously this side has suffered from landslide, so the concrete post has fallen down pretty much into the stream. And yeah, and a gate would have been attached to that concrete post. But yeah, it's really interesting. And as we can see, the line would have passed over the bridge and headed towards Bartlow. Right, I'll see you guys back when I'm up the top. Okay, so we're at the Haverhill Flood Park now, and as we can see here is one of the former bridges. The line used to travel underneath this. I have been underneath this bridge before. I'll try and get under there today, but if I can't, then, well, that's just unfortunate. But I've been under there, and I noticed that there was some old ballast and like some smuts and stuff on the top of the bridge still there, which is really quite amazing to see that. But yeah, so the line would have passed through this flood park. This embankment probably wouldn't have been here that I'm standing on, and then it would have gone further down there. Right, so I'm going to head up to the top of the bridge now. I'm just walking along the road to head up to the top of the bridge to see if we can get underneath it. So yeah, hopefully we can. I mean, it does look a little bit more overgrown than what it did a few years ago when I did go underneath. So we'll just have a look and see if it's still doable. So this here is the alignment facing north on top of the bridge. Very mossy down there. But yeah, as you can see, certainly overgrown here. Now these were cut back. Last time I looked over here, you could actually see the alignment very well. Like these trees here were cut back, but now this was 10 years ago, so it's obviously grown over time. But yeah, there we go. And this is on top of the bridge facing south into the Haverhill Flood Park. So this flood park wouldn't have existed many years ago, so this is obviously will be a new addition. But yeah, so you can see that people have fly tipped over the top of this bridge since I last went down there. And yeah, it looks as if I can gain access down here. Yes, there we are. You've got this in the bag, yes you do. As you can see, we are lowering down into the bridge. Smell that someone's had weed down here, because I can sort of smell a hint of weed. So someone's been down here, smoked a doobie, I reckon. Yeah, that's how it sort of looks under there. We'll get down there and I'll do some more footage. And here she is. And this is what's known as Wethersfield Road Railway Bridge. As you can see, it's slightly curved. So it's an interesting structure. And it's also quite wider inside than other bridges along the line. It's got a bit of bricks and debris under here where it's just sort of come away slightly on some of the walls. But yeah, but the rest of it's pretty well intact. But if you come over to the middle of the bridge, look at that. That there is a line of black smut. So this, right there, would be exactly the point of where the trains would go under. And look, you can see how like blackened the bridge is at the ends there. And that is thick smut for many years of trains travelling underneath here, which I think is just absolutely fantastic, and it's just brilliant. It's just really is so cool to see that, the fact that you know that many years ago, you know, that is a piece of history right there. And here you can just about see tiny shards of sort of ballast still there. A lot of it's gone under and sunk under the ground now, but there was a lot more of it when I last came here 10 years ago. But you can see in some places just remnants of ballast. from where they lifted the track up in the 60s. One of the other awesome things is this I've just seen. By the looks of it, this could have been holding a telegraph wire, either that or signal cabling. But I'm thinking maybe towards telephone wires, because a lot of the time back in the 60s and 50s you used to have the telegraph poles beside the railway tracks. So my guess is it was probably linked to something like that. Now, this item really intrigues me. There's a lot of interesting stuff in this bridge. There's like a post in a bit of concrete here. I don't know whether that was related to the railway at all, but I mean, could that be a piece of semaphore, or... I'm not sure. But it's certainly really interesting. Something else I've noticed on this bridge is this screw and nut. Now, could that have been a number? Because some of the bridges along some railway lines were numbered. Could that have been the original bridge number sign? Who knows? But given the age of the items that are in the wall of this bridge, it certainly does look like something was there and it has now been taken off. There's not a lot that can be seen facing north, unfortunately. It's completely overgrown. But yeah, you can tell the precise point of where the trains used to go underneath by the line of Smuts, which is just really cool. On our way out of the bridge, you'll see nestled underneath the muck and overgrowth, there is some old fence posts. So these would have been originals, railway line side fencing. So we think that's where I'm supposed to go, the alignment over there. That's what we think anyway. We've got Jordan here on the phone, being my personal sat-nav. Isn't you, Jordan?
Yeah.
Here we are. So, we should go and have a look. Okay, so this is where we come from. As you can see, we've got the flood park in the distance. And then if I turn round, facing south where we were heading, this is the tree line I wanted to have a look at, the track alignment, and unfortunately there is no chance of getting in there. I had a look and it is just absolutely overgrown to the brim. You can't get in there, and yeah, unfortunately it's not looking like I can go much further. Okay, so new day. New dawn, it's a new day, it's a good song. But yeah, so today I'm going to be meeting up with Jordan Deveson, and we're going to be exploring the south section of the Stour Valley Railway now. So obviously we explored the north, and now it's time to explore south. So I'm on my way to the bus stop to meet Jordan. So let's give him a ring and see where he is.
Hello.
You right there, Jordan?
Yep.
Whereabouts are you?
Just gone past Sainsbury's.
Oh, okay. Yeah, don't forget to press the button.
Oh,
You know, the big square red button that says stop on it? Yeah. So I'm on my way. And there he is. Here he is. Here you.
That's it. Yeah.
It's a bit wet.
No, not too bad. It's drier than what it was when I started at 5 this morning. That was typical.
Well, at least I ain't chucking it down rain.
No.
It's stormy.
5 stuff, so it should be alright.
Right, so off we go then.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Right, so that's where I went a little while ago. Now we're going to head over to the south side of the track alignment. Oh.
South.
Yes, it's south. Yes, it's not north. So yeah, just cross the road here and we'll be on it. And it's now, unfortunately, like most abandoned railways, a cycle path. Okay, so this is the first bridge on our journey. This is what I like to call the Water's Edge Bridge. Reason I call it this is because it's literally built right beside a brand new set of flats called Water's Edge. The structure of this bridge is actually really well intact still. You can see that all the bricks are in the appropriate places. There is some railings that have been placed on top of the bridge. This is probably to stop people fly tipping over it, like the last bridge that we visited. So yeah, it's an interesting bridge. Now on to the next location. Nestled in these bushes here is a gradient post, and I know this by looking at a book by Geoffrey Walker on the Haverhill Railway. We can see some of the original photos showing up on screen now. But we can see only just in there the gradient post sits. So it's a concrete gradient post, so that's no sign of rot there as such, but there is certainly a lot of moss growing there. I have been speaking to the council actually well, my plan is to sort of cut away this bush and try and restore this gradient post to its somewhat former glory. So yes, it'll be interesting. We'll just see if we can get that done. So Jordan, you enjoying your walk so far?
I've only just started.
Oh, yeah.
Got a long, long way to go yet.
Got another 2 hours or something like that, haven't we?
Well, it's roughly 9.5 kilometres, so we're doing about 5 miles, more or less.
Yes. Long way.
It's going to be a long one.
Hey Jordan, look at this gate. If you go down there, look. It's just down here. Now, I'm not sure whether this is original or not. My dad thinks that the wood is too new to be original.
Yeah, it's too small. I don't think so.
I was convinced that maybe this was part of a foot crossing or something, although it doesn't make much sense though, because well, if you walk down this way, there's literally pretty much nothing down there. There's just like gardens and stuff. But I don't, yeah. And there's some old like railway fencing that still can be seen in here, in this overgrowth.
Nice railing on here.
Hmm?
It's got some nice rail on there.
Yeah, see that metal railing, that to me looks original.
Yeah.
What do you reckon?
I don't know.
It's hard to
Only
tell.
thing I could say is a farm crossing, but like before the houses were built around it.
Moving on.
Let's do it.
We can see here the track alignment here widens. Now the interesting thing about this was there's actually 2 sidings either side of the single line track, and there's actually a story that a train went down the wrong road at some point in the 1930s, I believe, and there was a really big accident, like the train just crashed off the end of the buffers, and yeah, people were hurt and possibly killed. Funny thing is, and the scary thing about it is, sometimes when I walk along here, and I know it sounds really stupid, but I can smell like coal, like a burning coal smell. I mean, I sort of believe in superstitions and ghosts, but I can sort of sometimes smell burning coal, and it's really interesting because I read that bit in a book about the train crashing around this area, and it really did make me think, oh my god. So yeah, it's just really weird that sometimes you can smell that, and even some of the Haverhill townsfolk think that they can smell coal along here sometimes. So yeah, so it's a very spooky and interesting story. Okay, so ahead of us just now is the site of the former railway bridge into the station, and basically what we're going to do is we're going to head down the ramp and just have a little look at it and see what's left of the original bridge. Okay, so this one embutment is all that remains of bridge number 2164, which used to carry the railway line into Haverhill North Station. At this point it would have been double track, so you would have had a point work heading into the station forming a double track section for just a little way until the railway split off into two sections, one to the Stour Valley Railway and the other to the Colne Valley Railway. So here we are at the site of the former Haverhill North Station. Today it's Tesco Superstore, unfortunately. There is no remains of the station whatsoever. There was for a little while in like 2006, sort of the early 2000s. I remember walking along it when I was a kid, seeing like sleepers just stacked up, and I saw the former goods shed as well, which was still around, and it was a council office for quite some time until they demolished it. And yeah, not a lot to see here unfortunately anymore. This is all that's left of the road that used to lead up to the station forecourt at Haverhill North. If you walk up the road towards the station forecourt, we'll see the site of the former station master's house still survive. The station forecourt is now replaced by a roundabout. The houses by the road heading up to the bridge used to be used by railway staff back in the day, and as you can see, they still stand today. Heading a little bit further up from Tesco, just outside the car park, is the remains of wagon wheels. So this is an old wagon wheel set. We can tell this by the shape of the spokes and by the axles as well, how they stick out of each side. Most locomotive bogies are just sort of flush to the wheel. You don't get these sort of sticky out bits, as it were. These would have connected to a piece, and yeah, it's definitely wagon wheels as far as I can see. For a long time I thought they were locomotive bogies, but I can tell now that these are wagon wheels. So yeah, a bit of history here. Probably the last piece of rolling stock ever to be around here that was off the former railway line, and it's great to see. It really is a nice memorial to the old railway line. Okay, so here we are at the site of bridge number 2167. So you can tell by the top of this bridge that it was a double track section along here, and it is a very classic girder. It's a brilliant looking metal structure, and I must admit I do love this bridge. So this bridge is located literally just next to the cinema car park and next to the Chalkstone estate as well. So I like to call this the Chalkstone Bridge. And yeah, it really is a magnificent structure, and most of it is all intact, although there is one plinth missing on the right hand side of the bridge. But hey ho, not everything can all be intact. It's history, and it falls apart eventually. And it's great to see it now, because one day all of this might be gone. You just never know. You never know what the future may hold. Okay, so we think here is approximately the site where the tracks would disperse. To the right side it would have turned off towards the Colne Valley Railway, and to the left side to the Stour Valley Railway. And from this on it would have been single track. So onwards along the Stour Valley Railway to Sturmer we go. So this is following the alignment towards Sturmer, and it's starting to get really dirty now. We've lost the cycle path now, and this is where we're literally on dirt ground. And within East Town Park we come across another old railway structure, a stream bridge. This one's slightly bigger than the stream bridge I visited towards the north side of the railway line. And yeah, it's interesting. I'm going to head down here, go and take a closer look. Oh wow, this looks good down here. You should come down here and take a look. Look at this brickwork, this magnificent craftsmanship to get all that on there. Got little bits and pieces sort of falling apart here and there, but it's all sort of, most of it's still there. What do you reckon to it, Jordan?
Well, it's a really nice bridge. I was just looking down here to see how the embankment's been eroded away by the water. The top part of the bridge side is now starting to be exposed.
Oh yeah. Again, it's just, you know, just shows how old these structures are, and they won't be around forever. A couple of 100 years or so, these will all fall apart and eventually have to be replaced with new brickwork or new bridges even. One thing we do keep noticing alongside the line, as Jordan's pointed out, is the old railway fence posts and fencing. You can just about see them within the foliage. There was some quite more better exposed ones earlier on, wasn't there?
Yeah, a little bit further back. You never know, might find some more coming down here. We'll find something better.
As you can see here, we found a little brick alcove, which is passing this little stream underneath the track alignment, which, as we can see up there. So we think here we've come across what used to be a farm crossing. We can see this like sort of old metal gate here. The concrete posts sort of give it away, sort of an instant giveaway for a piece of railway history. We can see here it comes up and over the track alignment, and over here, which I presume there would have been another gate around here somewhere, wouldn't there, Jordan? Something like that?
Maybe, if not, the gate down by the main road.
Yeah. That might. But yeah, it's, you can sort of vaguely see where it was, can't you? Again, there's something else I didn't notice. I'm actually noticing new things along this section because it's winter and I'm usually used to walking down here in the summer and seeing it all with like loads of leaves. We're actually noticing stuff that I wouldn't usually notice, and it's really cool. On the section we've just walked, we can see the sort of embankments in between the line there, sort of forming a small cutting, and this whole section up towards Sturmer is uphill. But if we turn around, we can see we start to go downhill under the next bridge, which we're going to take a look at. So this next bridge here is in really bad shape. We can see that there is scaffolding underneath. We can see literally bits of bricks coming away here. This won't last forever. I think that eventually, in a few years' time, this will come down, and sadly all that will be left is embankments, unless they reconstruct a bridge over the top of this. Although I don't know where this pathway goes across the top here, maybe a access road to the golf course or something. But yeah, it's a very weakened structure, to say the least. Yeah, and this is the other side of the bridge, which looks a little bit more intact than the other side, from what I can see. So good photos?
I think so.
Are we all good for the BLS Facebook page, won't it?
Yeah.
Right, onwards.
That way.
As we can see in these trees, there's some more railway fence posting vaguely seen. Ah, it's good, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's fun. I should persuade you guys to do this. Oh, also, I'm just going to go through my usual shenanigans. If you're enjoying this video, please do comment, like and subscribe on our Facebook page. It really is much appreciated. We've reached over 600 subs now, and it would be nice to sort of reach 1,000 by the end of the year, so we can do like a subscribers festival like we did for the 500 subscribers. So yeah, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and we'll do some more special videos for you guys. And if you really do like this style of video, exploring old abandoned railways, let us know and we might do some more in the future. Now this is original. It's obvious because look, there's a gate there that just leads to nowhere. I mean, what's that doing there? It's got to be, again, another one of those farm crossings, Jordan, hey?
Yeah. Well, potentially.
Well, because I mean, look, if you look at the other side, it just leads to a new housing estate.
That's it. Just don't know if it was on the
Yeah, it's just that there's no reason for that gate, so that must be an original. Now this is lovely, this is probably one of my favourite bridges along the Stour Valley Railway section. I just love it. It is a living history right in front of us. This old-fashioned style girder bridge with the sort of metallic fencing above it. It screams steam era, you know what I mean? It's one of those bridges that you just think, yes, this is a steam era bridge. It's fantastic, it really is.
So you can see where the rails were, where they cut away the older track. You can tell that by just look at the different size of the cuts. Look, cut here, close to the bolts, cut here, close to the bolts, and this one, not so much. That's where they've just gone with the gas axe.
It's awesome, isn't it? It's definitely, you can see sort of make out the width of where the track was.
Yeah.
So here I am, standing in front of the original site of Sturmer railway station. We can see here that the entire station is still intact. The building is still there, the platform is still there. The building has been renovated, the windows and such are not original, and you can see that the whole entirety of the brickwork has pretty much gone. So that Great Eastern brickwork is no longer there. But the actual house itself, the station, and everything is all still there, and now a private residence. And if you look along the road, you can actually see the hill in which the crossing used to stand. Now this brickwork, this is the brickwork I was on about that was originally on Sturmer station, as well as the windows. You can tell that this is fully original, and this is the original station master's house at Sturmer. Now it's great to see it still standing, and I mean, you can just see by the iconic brickwork that this is Great Eastern of origin, and it's fabulous. The craftsmanship in this brickwork really is stunning. So now that we've explored the entirety of the Stour Valley Railway section that we've wanted to cover from Haverhill to Sturmer, we're now going to switch over to the Colne Valley Railway. And unfortunately, the heavens have opened literally as soon as we've got out the sheltered section. So it's just typical, isn't it, really? We now join the track that spurred off to the right towards the Colne Valley Railway. Currently I'm standing on top of Sturmer arches, which is technically classed as a viaduct and not a bridge, due to the 3 arches underneath of it. Further up the line from here would have been a junction called Colne Valley Junction. The junction would connect the line to the Stour Valley Railway, and one side, south, headed towards Birdbrook and Yeldham, whereas the north side headed towards the Colne Valley Railway's terminus station at Haverhill South. The Colne Valley Railway classes as a partially closed railway, since a section of the railway has actually been preserved just outside of Yeldham itself. We are now going to walk over and join the Colne Valley Railway track alignment from its terminus station at Haverhill South. Haverhill South was primarily used for freight workings, more than passenger, and the main station being Haverhill North Station, which we saw earlier on in the programme. Right, so I'm on my way to try and find the old site of the Haverhill South station, and I think we can clearly see here by this road that it gives us a very big clue that this is the correct direction. Behind the road sign we have the site of the old independent church, which is a very known location of Haverhill. It's a very well-known landmark. And also we have the site of this building here, which looks awfully a lot like an old Great Eastern structure. Whether this was part of the station or a station master's house, I do not know, but the structure of it does look incredibly similar to the Haverhill North station master's house and that of Sturmer's station master house. So unfortunately I have hit a roadblock while going to visit the site of the Haverhill South station, as it is all private property beyond this point and is now home to the Wisdom factory. But if we look at some old photos, here is a picture of the station site in 1950. If we go over to the early 2000s in the exact same position, you will see that there is absolutely nothing left. In fact, it looks like there was never a station there. We are now walking along the old track alignment, which is now part of a new housing estate. Must admit, I'm finding it incredibly difficult to get onto the track alignment from Haverhill South down to Colne Valley Junction, purely because it's mostly fenced off and a lot of the area has been built over by this brand new housing estate. So I've now managed to leave the housing estate and get on to the former track bed, which is a dirt track, aka footpath. We now come to a dip down to Bumpstead Road. There would have been a bridge over here carrying the track over towards Colne Valley Junction. Old railway cottages can still be seen alongside the alignment. Over the other side of the bridge, pieces of concrete can be seen bedded into the ground. I have a hunch that this was the base of the original bridge. We can really see where the track would have been now. Currently at pretty high level. We are now at the approximate site of Colne Valley Junction, which is well and truly overgrown. Can't even really tell where the junction was. That's the footpath heading north towards Haverhill South Station. It's the footpath heading south towards Birdbrook and Yeldham. And here is the footpath towards Sturmer Arches, the junction up connecting to the Stour Valley line. Walking down the alignment towards Birdbrook now. And we're going to go as far as we possibly can until we hit the bypass. The track alignment from this point is incredibly overgrown, so we're going to have to make our way out of the alignment into the industrial estate. As we head further down the railway line, we start to see a cutting being formed. We've reached journey's end for now. Just past the building in the foreground is the bypass, where we won't be able to cross over and get to the alignment, unfortunately. So we're going to stop here and rejoin myself and Jordan heading up Hill Road towards the alignment. There we are, so this is us walking up Hill Lane. We're heading towards the Colne Valley Railway track alignment. The idea is to pick up the track alignment and walk all the way along it to Birdbrook and Whitley, two former stations of the railway. And it is very rainy and wet and horrible. So we've now reached the Colne Valley Railway's track alignment. This is the view from the south. And over here is the view from the north, just in that tree line there. And where I'm standing, where these new fences have been placed, there was a bridge, well, the tops of a bridge, still here, that the railway used to pass through. Now, the reason that there used to be bridge tops is because the land has been filled along this section here, especially over the fields over there. And if you look at the Rediscovering Lost Railways YouTube channel, you'll actually see the remains of this bridge on the lane. So yeah, unfortunately it's now all gone and we can't see it. It's a shame, but you know, this is what happens. Oh dear, more fences. It should be a bit more easier than the metal fence that I had before. Yeah. Cool, if that went in my nuts. Okay. There we are. So, this is the former alignment. We're in the trees. I mean, we could sort of dodge our way through here, couldn't we? Can you see anything? Anything interesting? No relics? This is going to take us forever to go through all this.
Go down the side and walk along it.
Yeah, May have to go down the side.
Yep. Alright.
So does that mean back again?
Back again.
Okay. Oh. Okay. It's a failing entry into the alignment in this section here. We're having to walk alongside it until we find an opening where we can go inside. Ain't that right?
Or I'll just follow it along until we get to the next area. The next area is, I know for a fact, is accessible.
Ah, awesome. Maybe we'll find some more remains. So just poking our heads through to the alignment a bit further down, we can just see just how deep this cutting really is. It's really cool. But you can see just down there where it used to go. And it's quite well marked as well, isn't it? Jordan's being adventurous here. He wants to go and have a look down there. I'm a little bit nervous about this. Because what if we don't get back up? He's down. Oh, have I got to come down now? Is it fairly clear? Fairly? Okay. Looks like I've got to go down. Great. So I managed to get down, and you can see it's you can really tell that the railway used to come through here. See how far we can go. There we are. And this is why you wear wellies. Look at this. See, look. Yes. Right. What, in case we have to climb back up? Quite enough steep up there though, isn't it?
Yeah. You just think how much effort that took to make, like, to cut all this out.
Yeah, they would have to dig all this, wouldn't they?
It was all by hand. There was no...
Hand?
Oh yeah, there was no machinery back in the days when the navvies were about.
Jeez. Oh, there we are. Oh my lords. That's a bit deep in there. Oh shit. It's not really much remains left inside the cutting, really, is there? Yeah, bit of a shame. Although something looks like it's coming up here, doesn't it? What are those big mounds over there? Are they mounds? Hay? Ah. So we've now sort of come out to an opening here, and there's sort of like a farmer's track going across the alignment there. So maybe once a site of another farm crossing? Who knows? It looks as though it's getting a little bit more overgrown now, doesn't it? Oh, yeah. Original fence posts. Debris.
I don't know if we're going to get through there.
It's obviously back out into the fields then, isn't it? Back out onto the, what I assumed, farmer's crossing, sort of back out here. You can see Some more sort of fence post debris here still remains. So we've come across here, this is what looks to be an old stream bridge here. We've got the old embankments here, which is really cool to see. We can see that during the time it was demolished, we can see that more bricks have been demolished there. That's why there's a big hole in there. So obviously some of it has crumbled away, but it's certainly nice to see it here. This is not one that usually people would see, because it's obviously on a farm track, and yeah, it's cool. It's cool to see it. Okay, so we've now reached a section of the track alignment we can now walk along. I was just saying to Jordan to think of how many locos and stock used to come along here. You know, we used to get J15s, 31s, plus 15s, Iverts, tons. Just think now it's all gone. Never to be seen ever again. How times change. Okay, so we can see this section heading down to the main road at New England here. There would have been a bridge over this road. As we can see, it's a very sharp drop down here. So the bridge probably would have started just about where Jordan's standing or something along those lines, and then went across here. Or further down. Who knows? But I would guess it wouldn't have been too far from this point. Just noticed some old brickwork in the ground here. My guess is this is probably debris from the original bridge. You can see it's sort of coming along here. My guess is that is probably the bottom half of the bridge that they've just failed to get rid of. What do you say?
Hard to tell, really.
It's hard to tell, but it's interesting that it's there nonetheless, isn't it? Okay, so we are currently at the remains of the Colne Valley Bridge number 29. And basically these are the bridge embankments behind me here. And yeah, you can see that it is all still there, the bridge embankments themselves, and it is complemented by a piece of rail found on the left-hand side, which is very interesting indeed. And it's great to see this here. So this bridge would have carried passengers over the road towards Birdbrook Station, just south from this bridge. Now this is going to be an interesting one, because Jordan thinks that the old Birdbrook Station platform itself, the remains of it, is by this telegraph pole. So you're certain it's in here somewhere? The question is, how do we get in? It looks like it's on an embankment, so I'm just wondering, is it worth climbing up on top of the bridge embankment and going up that way? Hmm?
Down that way first, there might be a
Yeah.
over there.
So we spotted the site of Birdbrook Station platform. We want to try and get in there. But yeah, look, there it is, up there in the trees. So we've got two options. We either climb up here or we try and get our way up via the bridge embankments. By the looks of it, along the side of the original platform, it looks as if there's the original goods shed still standing there. Yeah, we really need to get up there. Here we are, climbing up the bank. We've come across this post here. Not quite sure what it was for, but certainly is railway related, it's got to be. So, we found the start of the Birdbrook Station platform here. So you see I'm currently standing on top of it. So now we've got to make our way through the vines and trees and bushes and whatever there are to see if we can make our way further along the platform itself. So we're now at the remains of Birdbrook station on the Colne Valley Railway, and this is quite an interesting one because the platform is all still intact, the entirety of it, and unlike the other platforms along the railway line, this is concrete rather than brick, so it has quite a uniqueness compared to the other stations along the line. What time's the next train get here then?
Whitley's that way. I'll see you there.
Oh wait a second. So we can't go much further than this because it's private land, but looking on Google Maps, the black cladded shed, as far as I'm aware, is the original Birdbrook goods shed. It's just been recladded. Because if you look back on Google Maps, that shed has been there for a long time, even before that new shed behind it was constructed. Here we are viewing the other side of Birdbrook goods shed, former goods shed. If you look very closely to the door, we can actually see the old wooden structure and hinges. So that has officially confirmed it as the former goods shed. And then we come across this. So this concrete structure here used to hold the signal box in place over the opposite side of the goods yard. Still here and still can be seen. So, moving on from Birdbrook now, we're going to head to another old railway station known as Whitley. Now, Whitley closed in the early 1900s, I believe it was, wasn't it, Jordan? Something like that. 1920s, 1930s. But basically, the reason that Whitley closed was due to the fact of Birdbrook station being constructed. So
Whitley was a temporary station.
Yeah, it was a temporary halt, basically, wasn't it? A wooden halt or something.
Building Birdbrook.
Yeah, so while they were building Birdbrook, but obviously when Birdbrook station was finalised and finished being built, Whitley station closed down and all was completely demolished as far as I know. We'll have a look, see if there's any remains of it at all, but I doubt there is going to be any of it. But we do know that there's a bridge there, so we're going to go and take a look at it. So currently we're heading through the Birdbrook cutting. Jordan's picked something up there. Does it look of anything of interest?
Just trying to see, I don't know if... No, I thought it was clinker at first.
Well,
It looks similar to clinker, but it's not.
So this is sort of the place where, if we was to find another signal foundation like what I found under Wethersfield Road Bridge, this would be the place, because a lot of signals were through this cutting on the way to Birdbrook into the station and goods yard. Unfortunately, looking at this, it doesn't look like there is going to be any signal foundations, unfortunately. It looks like they've all been taken out, because I'm pretty certain we would have found one by now, don't you reckon?
It might be one further on,
See, I keep saying like mounds of rubble and stuff, and I just keep wondering whether that's, but it's not thick.
It's where animals come out.
All right, yeah. Although we do have old bits of wood, but that's all like trees. We have this random brick here for some unknown reason, as seen there. I mean, you can really see the Birdbrook cutting now. This really deep cutting. And if you look on YouTube, you'll actually see some archive film by Archive Films of the train going through this cutting and heading into Birdbrook and its goods yard. And you can really see how steep the banks are. On top of the ledge of the cutting on the right hand side, we've come across a pillbox. And obviously everyone who's watching this are probably familiar with what these are. They were used in the war for soldiers. And this is why you wear wellies. Look at this. See, look. Here is the bridge at where Whitley Station once was. It's unclear where the exact location of Whitley Station was, but
It's on the other side, it was meant to be.
over the other side, is it? So this is Whitley Bridge. One notable feature about this bridge is the metal poles through the arch, obviously to give it more stability. And like Wethersfield Road Bridge, we have multiple telegraph poles through this bridge, still intact. We can also see various spots of blackened bricks, which are obviously made by the steam locomotives that once passed through here. We can see in recent years the top half of the bridge has been relaid. Different colours of bricks at the top. And we are now standing at approximately the site of old Whitley Holt, which is sadly gone and nothing left to be seen as far as I can see. So the station would have been somewhere in front of me, within this embankment, but obviously absolutely no trace at all. Completely gone. And it was gone due to the fact that Birdbrook Station was built just further north of the line. I nearly slid along here a couple of times, didn't I?
You just keep grabbing onto the rotten bits, don't you?
Yeah. There we are. There we go. Keep going. Okay, so we've reached the top of Whitley Bridge. Yeah, and that was difficult to get up that embankment. In fact, there was a time that Jordan should have filmed, but I actually grabbed on a branch, it snapped and I fell back down the cutting. It's a shame you didn't film that.
Yeah, it was quite funny.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. But yeah, well, yeah, so this is obviously facing north. See over the bridge there. It's quite overgrown, but we managed to walk mostly through it, to be honest, didn't we? So, which was surprising. And then here we are over the north side, which is the south side. Even this is south, which is more open, and is the location of where Whitley Station used to be. And that concludes our trip down the Colne Valley Railway today, I'm afraid, because any further than this there's not really a great deal, and it's a long way to Great Yeldham, and then you've got the preserved Colne Valley Railway, and from then on it's quite difficult to get to from Haverhill. So yeah, we do have the old-fashioned signs still standing over the other side of the road there, preserved, well preserved. Yes, it's nice to see it there. So what do you think of today's experiences then, Jordan? Do you think we've seen some interesting things?
Seen some interesting things. Yeah, got to where we wanted to be, which was Whitley. Yeah, all in all, a good day.
Would have liked to see more, to be honest with you, but...
Well, you would.
Huh?
You would.
Yeah. So, here we are. We made it back, obviously. Safe and sound. Apart from a little issue on the way back, we decided to take a shortcut along a bridleway in a field. It was incredibly boggy due to the rain, and Jordan managed to get his welly stuck. So yeah, that was eventful. However, we made it back, and yeah, I do hope you've enjoyed the first abandoned railway style BLS vlog. Don't forget to comment, like and subscribe on our YouTube channel if you enjoyed this video. If you want us to do more, please let us know in the comments. If you've got any abandoned railways that you think we should check out and take a look at, please let us know, and we'll have a look into it. So thank you for watching. This has been Samuel Beamon of BLS. I'll see you soon.